Once again, this KVCI. This is another clip. I wanted to get Mr. Robinson to talk about the church. He talked about Masonic Lodge, and we actually found the sword here. But now, talk about that AME church and the history surrounding that church, Robinson.
Yeah, the AME Methodist Church was founded by the Prince Hall Masons. Okay, and the relationship between this right here, this old magnolia tree, and I believe that the church was called the Old Magnolia Church, and it was right across the street from the lodge, and they did the business on the church, and they did the business with the lodge, and they had a very unique relationship, and it was a certain amount of unity that they had amongst themselves that was forever bounded. Like I was saying, like you guys stay connected and bounded with one another, and it played a vital role in this. But when they come through the massacre, they burnt the church down, the lodge down, and the struggle began for them to struggle for their lives. This was the Renaissance period. And Brother Rain.
Yes, sir.
Could you come in here for a second?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And your professor.
Mm-hmm.
And ma'am.
Felicia.
Miss Felicia.
Felicia don't like the camera.
Well,
You might have to put up with it today.
That's right. That's right. Come on.
All right. Okay.
You know what I wanted to get here is the AME Methodist Church was a black church that belonged to black folks. Okay, and its relationship, brothers by the name of Zalem Jones and all of those guys, and when you go through the cities, you hear them talking about the Grand Lodges and this kind of thing, the originals. They played a big role in our history, okay? But now, today, everybody kind of abandoned the church, but that originally was blacks, okay? And this place had this relationship between, you come up, okay, had this relationship that everybody was unified, you know, and by you being in the profession that you was in, I know that you understand the historical traits and other places around our nation is basically like Rosewood, you know. You being a minister and showing your concerns here today, and you being who you are, you all show such a dedication. This is what's required today, that we can succeed in.
Yes, and let me add to that too. What he's saying is 199% true. When I could hear it in your voice tone that you were committed to your culture. And for you young people to have something in you to want to come, it makes me feel good as a man 60 years old. That's 60. And for you all to come, it just makes my heart bubble. Now you may take that lightly, but just imagine I talk to some black people my age, and do you not know they don't want to have nothing to do with blackness? They're afraid. We got some elected officials as if though they don't want to say black. But yet we could talk about the Japanese problem, the Iraqi problem, the German problem, the Jewish problem. When it comes down to the black problem, they say, well, don't talk that black talk. Everybody is included. Well, everybody included, but they still talk about the Jews' individual problems. Though.
That's true.
So we got to wake up to the new realities after that.
That is so true. That is so
but
true.
let me do something different, Doctor, if you don't mind. What do you have to say, brother? From what you've already seen, contribute to us, each one of you. Tell a little bit, if you want. If you don't, we're going to pass, go to the next person. But if you have something that you want to say about what you have already seen, please tell us right now. Step right here and tell us now. We want to hear from you. Anything you feel in your heart, how you enjoyed it so far, anything. The trip down here, anything. And let me explain why I asked that. I may need to do that. Let me tell you why I explained that. Y'all excuse me. I'm just down there. If y'all don't feel my freedom, you ought to. Okay. Now, we go to church, right? The pastor tell us everything. When I'm a traditional minister, but I don't preach like the rest of the preachers because I changed my format. If a preacher to stand up and talk to you for 30 minutes or even 15 minutes and don't ask you how you feel about the sermon, don't ask you what's on your mind, I woke up to that reality one day. So I committed myself, and I learned that from the Muslims too, brother. Do you remember the Muslims, they'll ask you, is anybody else having anything? Remember me? During Jumal.
That's right.
That's on the Al-Islam. Right. So I went everywhere. I've studied the Jews, all of them. I could go to all of them. That's why they call me confused today. So that's the thrust. That's the thrust of my bus. That if you don't say nothing but boo. If you say boo, you have to say boo. Well, at least we heard something from the young person. We know that you say boo. And you'll go down to history saying a boo man. But we don't want you to just listen to everything we say without, because you all, look, if you have something that can save the world, right? And if you keep it inside of you and don't share it with us elderly folk, we going to die, and on top of that, we'll go to hell. Come on, with it. What you got, brother? There you go. What you talking about?
That's right.
All I gotta say is, with us being the youngest
Yeah.
here, I feel like we can change the way blacks are viewed. First by changing our minds, by not succumbing to what the whites want us to live up to. That's about it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? If nobody, oh, come on. Okay, good, good.
Well, quite frankly, like, since I've been here, I've been moved about the whole story he's been telling us. And even before we even got here, we were making little jokes out, we're in the white people's town. And I think that's the number one thing that us African Americans need to get over is fear. We fear everything. Even though we're joking, really and truly, we were fear, like, oh my gosh, they're going to let their dogs out on us and stuff like that. But by being here and listening to the sermon, it empowers me. Like, I feel a bubble in me that I'm like, I want to start my own business. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to ask my friends, like, I love talking business-wise, and I love the idea that we came out here, and I think more people should.
Wow, thank you very much. Anybody else?
I just want to say we appreciate you guys. I learned a lot. And at my age, it's really ridiculous that I learned so much in the last couple of months through Dr. White about African American history. I was so intrigued by his lectures that I joined the African American Cultural Club at Valencia, and I got a chance to go to a conference in Ocala recently and learned even more, especially when it comes to the Willie Lynch letter and stuff like that, and how we came from Africa and how 80% of black people went to Brazil and other places, and only 20% came to the United States. And a lot of black people don't know that. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right, on that note, anybody else? On that note, yes, sir, close it out now, okay.
How do you guys feel about a guy like Dr. Marvin Dunn, taking under consideration, didn't have to purchase this, but he felt in his heart, so moved by Rosewood, that he come down here from Miami and purchased this place over here that we're about to go in. Could anyone of y'all speak to that?
I think that it's important that Professor Dunn took the initiative to use his own money and try to preserve and try to keep alive what was done to a black community. And it does not only reflect what took place here, but what took place throughout the Americas with the destruction of black society and thought. So by him preserving it, it gives us something to hold on to resurrect, and to study. So we're thankful for Dr. Dunn, and we're thankful for all the brothers and sisters throughout the world who's doing this type of work.
Yes, sir.
Because without them, without you all, this wouldn't be.
Well, I want to ask you this one other thing, brother, and answer me this. Do you feel like everyone that's out there that's watching this now, and those that can, get behind Dr. Marvin Dunn to bring Rosewood back alive again?
I think, yeah, they should bring Rosewood back alive, and they should also bring back alive communities like Rosewood within their in their area.
Local communities, yes.
We have Brookline in New York. We have New Philadelphia in Illinois. We have Edenville. We have a lot of towns throughout the country, throughout the world, that need to be resurrected again, so that our story can be told. Because if not, this is going to just disappear. All right, and we know there has been several groups of people throughout world history who have just disappeared. Their history has disappeared. I mean, we don't know nothing about most Native Americans who lived in the Caribbean. All right, we don't know nothing. We don't know nothing about the hundreds of ethnic groups who lived in North America that was destroyed. We don't know nothing about the thousands of ethnic groups in Africa that was destroyed because of the transatlantic slave trade. So you're doing good work here, and we love it.
Thank you. KVCI.blogspot.com, Brother George Boston Rhyme, Doc Robertson. As I said, Boston, G.B.R. on YouTube, Doc Ghetto Child. By the way, Doc is an artist, and he draw, paint, musical instruments, historian, you name it, and Doc is on top of it.